Welcome back everyone, and it's time to go balls deep. Today we are covering a topic which I find really interesting. It's the history, lore and inspiration of how Tabata created elements of Black Clover. For example, did you know Asta's 5-leaf grimoire was based on Telima? Look at these two designs, it looks familiar, doesn't it? Telima is an occult, social or spiritual philosophy. I got your attention now, huh?
Gotcha, bitch!
I'll go into more detail about that in a second, but I'm going to cover how grimoire were created, where Devil's or Asta's character was inspired from, and what the inspiration of the Dark Triad actually is in this series. Now, this isn't a history class or anything. Wait, it kinda is. But I love this type of shit, and you should stay to the end of this video because you won't regret it. I promise you, by the end of this video, you're going to be feeling like a child with a big brain, as the information you will get to know will blow your mind. Everyone? Whilst I was writing this script, it ended up being 6,000 words.
What? What the fuck?
So I decided this is going to be a series on the channel where I will explain the devil stuff and how Black Clover was created. This is part 1, but if you want part 2, make sure to hit the notification bell on the channel because I'll post it within 5 days or so, and get this video to 20,000 likes. Okay, maybe it's just me, but when I first started reading Black Clover and the concept of grimoire was introduced, I couldn't help but think, what inspired this? This is because I knew that grimoire were a real thing. So I asked myself this one question: what are they and how were they created? Well, now I know the answer to that and I'm gonna tell you all. But before I can, let me explain what they do in the anime so that you can understand how mind-blowing it actually is. So in Black Clover, the grimoire is one of the main sources of power for everyone in the world, from the regular citizens to the magic knights and even the royalty that they protect. Grimoires are books that give their users the power to cast spells that they wouldn't be able to cast just using their natural magic abilities. Grimoire are usually granted to 15-year-olds every year from the surrounding area, and every year there is a fresh new batch of grimoire just waiting to choose a master. They also record spells for the user to use at any time, and new spells are added naturally page by page as the user grows and the progress with the new power being written in that book. Grimoire are connected to their owners and they dissolve as their owner dies. So now that I've explained the basics of what grimoire are in Black Clover, let's get down to business. When I was researching what they really are, there isn't much of a difference between the real thing and the anime. Like, imagine thinking the shit that we are watching in Black Clover was an actual real thing that existed.
僕この戦いが終わったらアスタの体好きにしていいって約束してるんだ。
No, not the harem bit. I mean the part regarding magic. None of us are gonna get the harem shit in real life if we're being realistic.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Black Clover showcases that different grimoire provide the user with different types of magic, and this was actually the case in real life too. Real grimoire were books to create protective amulets, talismans and heal illnesses. However, just like in the anime, they are grimoire dark in nature and revolve around the devil and black magic. For example, the most famous grimoire in the world right now are the 6 and 7 books of Moses, for example, which is a text of magical incantations and seals that purports to instruct the reader in the spells used to create some of the miracles portrayed in the Bible, as well as to grant other forms of good fortune and good health. It's taken from the Mosaic books of the Kabbalah, which we know Tabata has confirmed the Kabbalah as one of the inspiration sources through the elves representing the Sephiroth with the Tree of Life, and Dante using the Tree of Qliphoth to unleash Lucifer. So the concept of grimoire in Black Clover was obviously taken from real life, even down to the different magic and spells each individual has when they get one. This is because in reality, a grimoire is a textbook of magic which witches and magicians created with instructions of how to perform magic spells and summon or invoke supernatural entities such as angels, demons, or spirits. In many cases, the books themselves are believed to be imbued with magical powers. Therefore, the creator of Black Clover took this concept and implemented it into the manga. Now, I know all of this shit because he told me personally on the phone. Hello?
What are you doing?
What's the problem? This isn't even a chapter video. We're not spoiling your story with balls deep prediction magic, man. Now, as we all know, Asta's 5-leaf Clover Grimoire has been imbued with anti-magic demon powers for a certain reason and purpose. We have confirmed in our previous videos and analysis that your soul is linked to the Grimoire, because Zagreid the Devil confirmed that Patri 500 years ago in the future, he would receive a 4-leaf light Grimoire. That was his way of making his plan be successful in chapter 205 when he admitted it. The concept of destiny exists in Black Clover because Patri admits this idea himself, that it was how he looked like licked whilst he was being ignorant of the whole plan. On top of that, the latest chapter just introduced a oracle where they can tell the future, and they explained the concept of destiny and how the light triad are intertwined and they have to be used to go against the dark triad. But going back to the real life concept, a man named Owen Davies wrote a book called Grimoire, a history of magic books. And yes, I actually read this book just for this video and series, and please don't tell me he doesn't look like Owen from the anime, bruh. The glasses, the name, the intelligence, that's clearly a nod to this author. I think Tabata definitely read the author's writings and books, and so he played homage to him through Owen's character as an Easter egg for Black Clover. In Owen's book, it says that a grimoire is defined by the writing it contains, similar to how in the anime that emphasizes on the cover having a lot of meaning and the magic properties that it has. When Yuno got his grimoire, for example, everyone recognized it and what it meant. The book also states that the act of writing can itself be magic, and certain words can have active properties independent of the holy or magical text in which they are written. Their power could be stimulated by the ritual use of specific inks and blood. Now, we know the Dark Triad have definitely done this, for example, and made many sacrifices in their own kingdom to conduct the ritualistic plan of Lucifer. We also see this real life concept in Black Clover in chapter 19 when they are in the raid. Yuno comes across magic glyphs that become active and his grimoire reacts to it, right? As you may have noticed, the grimoire in Black Clover, the various different versions have glyph writings and different spells written inside. Well, the glyph writing, for example, that was used is from real life too, like the Viking rune text that we see on Julius's forehead to resurrect him. That's from the Viking era. The Emerald Tablet, if you can see this image right here, the writing on the Emerald Tablet, we have this in real life, and it looks strikingly similar to the devil language that we see and all the other texts. For example, if you look at Gauche, it looks very similar. So Tabata must have been inspired from these concepts. In addition, it's worth noting that in ancient history, the earliest known written magical incantations came from ancient Mesopotamia, where they have been found inscribed on clay tablets that archaeologists excavated from the city of Uruk and dated to be between the 5th and 4th centuries BC. I wouldn't be surprised in the future of Black Clover that they expand the universe by describing to us ancient events of previous humans, elves, dwarves, angels, or gods that lived in other planes of existence, since it's a concept that has existed since the beginning of its Black Clover universe. I mean, in chapter 101, the elves from 500 years ago were regarded as ancient, even as an ancient demon god. So imagine 1200 years ago of history that has been confirmed from the Heart Queen that has been passing down knowledge for that long. The massive amount of different women and queens that wrote all these books within a library. Ancient elves, humans, and dwarves lived in harmony, right? In the past, according to Mimosa's myths of legends that she spoke about when she saw Charmy as a dwarf, she said dwarves are ancient people that lived in harmony. So these folktale stories have been heard. It's just all mind-blowing, right?
Yes.
Furthermore, this is very important because now that we know in real life that this was a practice too, it means that the concept in Black Clover with Asta and his grimoire, it's possible too. The anti-magic powers instilled in Asta could be active due to the grimoire being given to him by someone instilling his soul with it when he was born, and it was linked to him. In chapter 222, Dorothy practically confirmed this concept from real life in Black Clover that contracts are created with demons in exchange for something in return. The anti-magic power that resides in Asta's grimoire seems to resonate with him, and this leads into our theories about how Asta was part of an experiment at birth involving the devil, or his parents must have been involved and done something. It cannot be a coincidence that otherworldly magic did not affect Asta when he fell into Zagrid's magic, or Zagrid saying Asta's magic is resonating with his otherworldly one and that's amplifying his power. Now, in an interview, Black Clover creator Yuki Tabata, my friend that is, he admitted that when it comes to the creation of the manga, in terms of design and concept, he does have reference material he uses that he did not name drop, but he did mention Lord of the Rings as one of his inspirations. But I know why he didn't name drop that shit, bro. Imagine telling your editor that I've been reading devil books and stuff about Satanism to create my manga. Like, Tabata's editor would be like, the reference material is definitely the Kabbalah, the Grand Grimoire, and the Lesser Key of Solomon, as these real concepts are prevalent when it comes to exploring the demon aspect of the manga. I can prove this by mentioning a book created by Owen Davies who explains the history of magic books. Now, I mentioned Owen Davies already because he's a professor of social history and has written extensively about the history of magic. In his book regarding the history of magic, he stated that in the past, uneducated people identified certain physical attributes of books, such as large size, vulnerable appearance, and contents full of unfamiliar signs, figures, and languages as indicative of magical purpose. This is linked with Black Clover, since each sign on the covers of the grimoire represents something and how much magical power that you have, or what type of magic you have. People also try to interpret or know what they mean. In addition, when you have a grimoire, everyone is aware of your practice and role of it. This is evident in Manga Chapter 29, for example, when the chef recognizes the Magic Night test being passed by the Black Bull member. This is essentially part of the world building that anime took upon, and all makes sense in conjunction with real terms. I don't think Tabata thought this far though, you know, since the world building works in such a way where it's only natural for things to occur like this, but it's interesting to know that what we read every week did actually happen to some degree in real life. Like, the ranking system of wizards in Black Clover's universe was also something based on reality when it came to the magician skills with their grimoire. They used to rank each other based upon their spells and skills. One of the most well-known and dark volumes of grimoire in real life is what I mentioned earlier, and it's called the Grand Grimoire. This book also goes by the name of the Red Dragon. Owen Davies suggests 1702 is when the first edition may have been created, and speaks about it in great detail in his writing. This Grand Grimoire book contains instructions to summon Lucifer, or Lucifuge Rofocale, who is a demon in charge to govern for Lucifer on his behalf. In addition, you can summon for the purpose of forming a deal with the devil. We know that performing deals with the devil is a real concept in Black Clover thanks to chapters 222 and 258, where it's revealed that this has been done before, and when Asta does this right in front of us during his battle with Dante, Asta creates a deal with the anti-magic demon to give up his arm for more power. The Grand Grimoire is split into two books. The first book contains instruction for summoning a demon and for the construction of tools with which to force the demon to do one's bidding. The second book is further divided into two parts, containing instructions for making a pact with a demon, allowing one to command the spirit without the tools required in book 1, but it's with a greater risk. Now, as we can see, Nacht, the vice captain of the Black Bulls, is doing just that. He can control his demon to do do his bidding and is friendly with him. He will teach Asta to do this in some way to gain a power up against the Dark Triad. This isn't the only demon grimoire in existence in real life. There are many more out there, but I'm using the Grand Grimoire as an example. From saying all of this, it isn't far-fetched for me personally to jump to the conclusion that since this Grand Grimoire is so well known in pop culture, this is a concept and inspiration as to why Asta's grimoire has demon properties and is linked with dark magic. Asta had no magic powers since he was born, so it's easy to assume that the reason both him and Yuno were left at the orphanage is no coincidence. To further back this concept theory, we know for a fact that some sort of religion exists in Black Clover since there are nuns and a church. The fact that there are characters such as Sister Lily, Sister Teresa and Father Orsi implies that there is an important religion like Christianity or another major religion. So there must be a god that they all worship. The existence of a god and angels is constantly foreshadowed in Black Clover. I mean, just recently in chapter 265, the elves mentioned divine revelation from the oracle that told them a prophecy to go save Noel and the others due to the aftermath of Varnika's attack. So you're probably wondering, how can I be so sure the Grand Grimoire or Owen Davies was an inspiration of Black Clover's creation? Well, again, the fact that Owen Davies is played homage by Tabata with the character, but on top of that, the Dark Triad are following the exact demons featured in this book. The Grand Grimoire mentions 3 demons and a hierarchy system that the demons have within their ranks. We know for a fact that devils in Black Clover also have a ranking system on who gets to tell the orders. Lucifer could have lied about the anti-magic demon when he said his magic is poultry because he fears him. There must be a reason why Asta's demon confirmed to us that he wants to kill his own race due to what happened in the past. The demons mentioned in the Grand Grimoire are Lucifer as the Emperor, Beelzebub as the Prince, and you guessed it, Astaroth the Grand Duke. Noct told us in chapter 263 that there are even more demons within hell that are stronger than the ones the Dark Triad possess. The book mentions possible names such as these ones. I'm not even gonna bother trying to name all of them, fam, but I hope Tabata will create some cool ass unique ones for the show. So there is a big notion within the Anime Balls Deep community. If you didn't know about this Astaroth theory, I really suggest you watch this video being displayed to you right now, and you need to join our community. Make sure to hit the notification bell. The community has a strong belief and theory that Asta's demon was a former duke or king of the devil realm that is truly powerful, with Asta being his vessel. He needs to unlock his true power. But for me to cover all that in this one video, it would have been 30 to 45 minutes long, and my editors wouldn't have liked that, and frankly they would have killed me. So I am dividing this into part 2 and 3. There is some more crazy devil symbolism left to cover. For example, in part 2, if this gets enough support, I will cover what is negative mana, what are the devil sigils we see, what is the 5-leaf clover, what are the 7 gates of hell, and how did Dante create his plan. I'd appreciate if we could get to 20,000 likes, and I would also like to shout out all of these people for buying the charred Asta merch, because without your support, we wouldn't be able to constantly produce the videos in the first place. So that's the end of the video, guys. Make sure to stay tuned for part 2 in next week, in 5 days, and I'll see you guys next time.